I really enjoy doing different combinations of fruits in my jams because I feel like it opens you up to such a wide variety of flavors. In this case, I'm doing berry cherry jam, which is strawberry, blackberry, and cherries, and it's so good. The first thing I need to do is I need to de-stem and wash my cherries. After that, I run my ½ pound of cherries through my pitter. They have small handheld ones, which would work for this small of an amount, but I just like using this one because it's so fast. I always go through and double check my cherries just because sometimes it will miss a cherry pit, and I really don't want to get that in my jam. I wash off my strawberries just to make sure that there's no residue of any pesticides on them. Next, I'll de-stem 2 pounds worth of strawberries. I really like this little hulling device because I feel like it wastes the least amount of the berry. You push it in, you twist it, it pulls out the little core around the stem, and then you can throw that out and you get to keep the rest. Occasionally, there'll be just a little bit of leaf that's left on the edge, and I just pull that off. It's not a big deal. And I'll place my strawberries directly into my large pot. A lot of times I like to use a blender or an immersion blender to mix my jams, but when it's something like this where it's multiple different kinds together, I don't always like to do that. I want to be able to taste the fruit individually. I also wash off my blackberries. Now I'll combine my 2 pounds of strawberries, ½ pound of cherries, and ½ pound of blackberries. Because I want these mashed up really fine, I'll use my little cutter masher. I feel like it does a good job of getting them separated. Of course, the more ripe the fruit is, the easier this is. And occasionally, despite my double checking, I'll still find a pit and need to pull it out at this point. Now I'll add 6 tablespoons of pectin, 1/4 a cup of lemon juice, and ½ of a teaspoon of butter. I'll then place this on the stove and bring it to a boil. Now that it's started to boil, I'll add 5½ cups of sugar. I want to add that all at once, so that's why I make sure that I pre-measure it. Because if I had to take the time to measure and add 1 cup at a time, I might end up burning my jam, and I definitely don't want that to happen. And then mix that in, and I will bring that back up to a boil. Now that it's come back to a boil, I'll set my timer for 1 minute. I like to stir for the whole time just to make sure that it doesn't start to scald on the bottom. I then fill up my pint-sized jars to 1/4 of an inch of headspace, which is the space from the top of the food to the top of the jar. Some of the chunks of fruit tend to float towards the top a little bit more, so I try to make sure that I get a little bit of them in each of the jars. If I overfill any of the jars, I just take a little spoon and I'll lift some of it out and add it to the jars that need a little bit more. I'll then use a clean damp cloth to wipe off the rim of my jars. This is just so that if any of the jam got on the outside edge, that it won't interfere with the seal. I'll then place my lids and rings on until they're fingertip tight. I'm using my new favorite lids today. They're Superb canning lids. They have this blue seal that's super squishy, and I really like it. I've canned over 90 jars at this point, and I haven't had trouble with any of them failing yet. These lids are American made and just really good quality. I've actually found that I like them more than the ball lids. And if you get a chance, you should listen to their little jingle. They have this little thing on their website. It's kind of funny, actually. I have a link as well as a 20% off coupon code in the description below. I'll then process these in the boiling water bath for 15 minutes if I'm at sea level. I'm at 1,200 feet, so I'll actually do it for 20, but I won't start my timer until after it begins to boil. Now that the processing time is done, I turn off the heat, remove the lid, and let it cool for 5 minutes. I place the jars on a heat-resistant surface about 1 to 2 inches apart, just so that they can cool faster. I'll leave them there undisturbed for about 24 hours so that they can get a really good seal. I can tell that they have a good seal if the center of the lid is depressed down. If it is, then I remove the ring, wash it with hot soapy water, and store it in a cool, dry, dark location like my pantry and use it in the next 1 to 3 years. If for some reason any of them didn't seal, I would put them in the refrigerator and use them right away. So let's see how this one tastes. Huh? Lovely. That's how it tastes. How could it be anything different with those items in it? So sweet. And then you taste the berries and the cherries in it. Of course, the predominant taste is that strawberry because that's what there is the most of here.